What's up, guys? We're back with another face-to-face video about what you really need to do to promote really anything. So simply putting it in front of people is not enough. If you build it, they will come mentality only works for kind of like established things. And like today's world, where there's an infinite amount of new things, simply building something doesn't guarantee that anybody's going to look at it because there's so many things to look at. So like we'll use card games for an example because, well, that's just what we'll use. So you may produce a card game. You may have a good game engine. You may have good art. You may have a good management team. You may have resources. But if you're not properly promoting that, it's not going to go anywhere. So, getting in front of a few eyes at like big events and things like that, that'll get you somewhere. But realistically, you need to be doing like small town tours and things like that where you're talking to the common people. Because like going to big events, those are things for like big spenders and not so much the common people anymore. Those are kind of gate kept by how expensive they are. And so if you want to get people to invest in your product, you have to go to where those people are who are going to be investing in your product. And this comes back to the issue of so many new things for people to be engaging with and so many existing things that people are already engaging with. So say you want to promote your new game at a card store. You want to go get the most eyes possible. So you think, well, I need to go to like these big events, or I need to go to these big card stores where there's going to be a lot of people. Well, the problem is there's a lot of things there for those people to already do. Like card stores and LGSs are generally busy running existing events for things that already are going for them and making the money. You have things like Magic and Pokemon and One Piece and Flesh and Blood and Sorcery and Gundam and Union Arena and all these other games. And realistically, there's not enough days in the week for these stores to be running events for every game. So if you want to grow your player base, you have to go to places where they have time to actually run an event and promote your product and have an audience that isn't already engrossed in so many other things that they're forced to choose between this, that, and the other. Because if you already have your entire scheduled for like, say, a month or two, and there's new releases coming out that you're scheduling for maybe 2 or 3 months in advance, like squeezing a new game in, especially an unproven one, is not very realistic. And it's not really because like your game is bad per se. It's just that there's no time in the day to get it all done. All this planning and work and attention and just the coordination and logistics of it all having to come together perfectly in order for your game to catch on in any group or environment. So it's like on average, if I want to present a new game to a group of 4 people, it's going to cost me about $500. And that is because I have to have my own decks built and ready to play. I have to have decks built to give away to people so that way they can get playing immediately. I need to have play mats and any kind of ancillary products required for play. And then I need to, a lot of the times, having like some sealed product like boxes or bundles or whatever, just some booster packs to give people, goes a really long way, because then they get to open something and kind of experience it as well. Like, it's an expensive endeavor. It takes a lot of time, a lot of energy. Oh, more money than I should probably be spending on card games. And it's all just to help promote like a healthy play environment and give like new games a chance. Because realistically, you can't go to a store, ask them to spend a bunch of their time, money, and dedicate play space to your new game when they already have prior commitments. And this is kind of true for any product that you're trying to push out. You need to go directly to your consumer base. You cannot expect advertising and like YouTube and influencers and social media and things like that to carry you. There is simply too much for people to focus on these days. There is more information than a person can absorb. The more information being put out in a single week than any one person can realistically absorb. There's just too much of it out there. And if you think that you can use all these existing channels to get your voice heard, then you're just going to get lost in the noise. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to try to game the algorithm. It's going to feel like you're getting nowhere. Nobody's going to see it. It feels like nobody cares. And it's just the nature of today's world. And it's unfortunate, but it is just what it is. And it's like, so far, to get like any game to kind of take off, you need to have 3 important things line up. You need to have a player group of at least like 4, preferably like 8 to 10 people. The 4 is kind of your minimum. And then you need to have those people be willing to consistently buy product from their local game stores. So game stores have to be able to sell product at an affordable price, and they have to be able to consistently get that product for people to buy. And then game stores have to be willing, or those people have to be spending enough money for game stores to justify giving them table space over existing games that are already making them money. And if you don't have all 3 of those boxes checked, it won't work. If the LGS gets product and people are buying it just to collect it, and there's no player base, then eventually the collectors will have all the cards that they want, and they won't be consistently buying product from the store. And if you have a store that has product that is too expensive, the player base will be going and seeking that out in different places, and the store won't be making any money, and they won't have any incentive to be running events. And if the store can't get product to support a player base that's willing to spend money, then they have also no reason to run events for that. Or the players then have no reason to go to that store to support it, to play their game. And anyway, it all has to line up. You have to have a player group that you're willing to spend money. Stores have to have product in order for them to buy. Stores also have to be willing to, stores have to just support the product. And by support the product, they have to have it in stock. They have to be willing to run events, whether that be community run events or official store run events. And if they're not willing to support the product, then all you can do is try to independently grow your player base, and maybe the store will come around, but probably not. Most of the time they are too busy and their schedule is too full, and you'll simply have to wait until there's a lull, maybe another game falls off, people quit playing, and then maybe you can get on their schedule, but probably not, because they probably already have something else lined up for it. And that's just the harsh reality of today's world. Like my main LGS here in my hometown, they're pretty much booked with events, and I've approached them about doing learn to plays, but they just simply don't have the time, or they have the inability to get product, or they can't, or I can't develop a player base that's large enough. So it's like all three boxes haven't been checked in order for them to kind of like help support my efforts for growing a player base for a lot of these indie games that I like. Because, they have limited space, they have to be able to make money off of it, and all these other things just have to be able to line up in order for it to work. And so I've been able to go to another store that doesn't run events, and they're just kind of getting started out with like having play area and stuff like that. And so in an environment like that, I'm able to work more effectively with getting new games in front of people and teaching them how to play and things like that. And it's been a lot easier, rather than trying to like throw myself at a wall and be frustrated, thinking like I'm just getting blown off, they don't care, whatever. Because you have to learn to work asymmetrically in today's world. And like for games, you need community ambassadors who know how to play the game, and you need like these game companies and creators, they need to send these ambassadors free learn to play kits. And these kits need to come with decks and play mats and rule books and booster boxes and whatever kind of promotional products they would need to advertise a learn to play event. Because realistically, like all these people that are passionate about like card games and stuff like that, they can't afford to support 5 to 6 players all on their own in order to get a game that they enjoy playing launched. Because if we're talking about like $500 on average to get 4 people playing a game, like if we're getting into like a bigger play group where we're like 8 to 10 people, we're talking like maybe $1,000. And that's just not like a realistic thing to ask a fan to do. Like you have to support them. And if you support your fans will support you. It has to be a mutually beneficial relationship. And you can't just, like, a big problem that I see is people like trying to hype prices on things, but this is its own separate tangent for another story. But anyway, if you want to properly market and promote in today's world, you have to go directly to your consumer base and to your fan base and to the places where these people congregate and actually engage with the product that you're attempting to sell. Because like the existing channels are just clogged up with everything. There's just too much out there already. And taking like a passive approach won't get you anywhere. I guess that's it. It's a rough world out there. It takes a lot of work just to enjoy something